So still at Sebring here, still looking at the CTLSi. Remember the one with the ADS-B? Well, it's got the IS engine in it. We had to go hunting all over the field to find an expert here. Brian Boucher is the man behind Florida Lightsport Aviation at my home airport of Spruce Creek Fly-In near Daytona Beach, Florida. And you're representing the brand in northern Florida now. So congratulations for that. All the best luck at selling some CTs to people. But you've become pretty knowledgeable about the IS engine. Tell us a little bit, Brian, about how it is to operate compared to the conventional 912. And before you even start, I'll say Brian has been out to the Rainbow Aircraft School, has his LSRM category rating, and has been down here to Lockwood and we're here at Sebring and gotten trained in the CT repair. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy, built airplanes, a lot of stuff. So listen carefully when he tells us some things.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. Thank you, Dave, for giving the opportunity. But you did search all over the field, but I was up flying. And next time you're just going to have to put on the binoculars and find me, because I've been doing flights all morning and taking customers up to really experience not only the flight design aircraft, but also the Rotax IS engine. Everybody seems to be pretty excited about the aircraft and the engine, and so am I. My experience, we have about 40 hours on this aircraft right now, and I think I've put about 30 of them on the aircraft, and I'm very happy with the performance of the fuel-injected engine. More so, the fuel economy. We just landed, and I was out doing some demo flights burning 3 gallons an hour. And if I want to go at 4 gallons an hour, I do approximately at low altitudes 112 to 115 knots true airspeed.
And still only burning 4 gallons an hour. So let's do the math here just a little bit. Let's call it 112. That equates to about 125 miles an hour, some number like that.
That's correct.
So that's about 30 miles per gallon at 125 miles an hour. You know, try that in your Maserati.
Yes, the economy is quite good. In fact, when I landed FBOs, when I delivered the aircraft down to Daytona Beach, or our home 7FL6, the FBOs weren't too happy when I pulled up and told them to top it off, and they came back and said, "You only took 8 gallons, is that correct?" And I said, "I think that's all I use. A couple hours in the air, that'd be about right." And so I gave them $30, $40, and I was on my way.
So it's a great thing to be able to fly this airplane at that kind of fuel economy. But there's a few differences in it. Now, Brian's been giving me some training in this particular aircraft since it's based at our home field. And you know, I'm an old Continental Lycoming pilot like so many others. I'm used to mag switches and click, click, click and all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit of a different animal here. You start the engine up, one screen comes on, the right screen in this case, gives you all your engine instruments. And that tells you the temperatures, and you just have to sort of cool your jets for a little while, a whole 2 minutes, and let the temperature come up, and then you can engage some other switches, and then you can change some things. What are those kind of things? How is it a little different to that pre-flighting process, Brian?
Well, it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. But when you and I were used to starting up Lycomings and Continental engines in our past career, but this one here, as you said, we start the engine, and remember, it's a computer, and there's 2 channels in the computer for redundancy, for safety. They call them lane A and lane B, but it's basically just that, 2 computers. And when you start up the engine, one generator comes online initially. Once the aircraft...
It's got two generators on it.
That's correct, Dan. It's got 2 generators, again for redundancy. And the first generator, when you start up the engine, starts to produce energy. And then once the aircraft is warmed up, around 120 degrees Fahrenheit, we bring the engine RPM up to 3,000 RPM. The second generator automatically engages, and then it's good for the remaining of the flight. And we start charging the batteries, and then we put on the master switch and all the avionics, as you mentioned earlier. We have ADS-B.
The whole panel lights up.
So. It lights up, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's pretty much the whole start procedure.
Now, how do you know the second generator's come online?
Well, because when you first put the master switch on, you'll see the amp meter discharging. It discharges about 4, -5. And then when the second generator comes online at 3,000 RPM, it automatically starts to charge on the plus side, which we all like to see as pilots when we're on the ground, +5, +6. and it's charging the battery. We know it's engaged.
Coming back up, you're all ready to go. Then you start taxiing and you do all your other checks. Although you did give me one trick while you're waiting on that, what seems like a long 2 minutes. It's silly, but you do have to just sort of cool your jets for a while, as I said. But you can make a couple of checks. You can do the flight control checks. Anything else?
And while that's one of the most important things, I try to get myself ready and get managed. You know, if you have a chart or if you have some equipment in the airplane, your headsets, adjust your harnesses, little things that you can do on the ground while the engine's warming up. Now remember, that's only when you first start the aircraft up. Like right now, I can start up the airplane and go flying with the next customer, and I just started up and
She's
away
already all warmed up.
It's all warmed up and away we go.
Great. So it's really a minor delay, and it's not that big a deal to do these things, but it is a little different rhythm. You got lights that are telling you things. Well, they'll come on if there's a problem, and then you know you need to shut down. So it's just some new learning that needs to be done, and boy, all those panels, we're all having fun with that, but it's just new learning. But you know what? Learning is fun.
It really is, Dan. In fact, yesterday and today, I think every one of the people that I've taken flying, they've all said, when do we do the mag check? Well, we just don't do that
We're all so used to that. It's the drill, but it's no longer the drill.
No, sir.
So the computer's doing it for you. It's already checking all kinds of stuff faster and better than you even can. So you know what? Let her do its work.
And it does a beautiful job, I have to admit. It's pretty nice.
Well, we're talking today with Brian Boucher, Florida Lightsport Aviation at the Spruce Creek Airport, which he abbreviated as 7FL6. You can find more about Brian on his website. What's the website going to be?
FloridaLightsportAviation.com.
There you go. Pretty easy to understand. I'll have more about that on my website as well. It's bydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com. Thanks so much for watching today.